Alright, so should you learn to code or let AI do coding for you? I mean, there are like crazy amount of AI tools right now that can actually take a simple text input and convert it into a real project. For example, let's say you want to create a dashboard for your SaaS application or create a simple to-do app or maybe a note-taking app. Simply open one of these AI tools, give it a simple text prompt, and the code should be ready in no time. So it all started with the introduction of ChatGPT. So back in the days when ChatGPT was initially announced, if a person want to develop let's say code an HTML page with some basic styling and stuff, he could right away open ChatGPT and ask it to code the same, and ChatGPT should give the code in no time. Similarly, let's say some basic JavaScript project, PHP, Python. I mean, ChatGPT was capable enough to write code for all of these popular frameworks and libraries and programming languages. After ChatGPT came other AI chatbots like Claude AI, which performed way better when it comes to coding side of things, and then various different LLMs and AI models were capable and were actually good at coding came up, and coding was like a breeze. So back in the day, if you were to use ChatGPT, Claude or any other AI tool, you will have to go ahead and give it or explain what exactly you want to develop, and it will give you a snippet of code that you can actually use in your working project. So there was no way ChatGPT could create files, populated with code or do some complex stuff. But a few months later, new advanced AI tools came into play, and now we have a newest kid in the block called Bolt.new, and this particular tool can actually take a simple text prompt and it can write the code, create file, install all the dependencies and packages, and take care of everything. And along the way, if you encounter some errors while running the application, you could simply click on the fix error button and AI will itself take the error and then fix it and give you the output. I mean, that's how advanced AI is right now, right? So we have Cursor AI. So you can go ahead and configure Cursor AI with whatever language model that you want to use. And you can go ahead and ask it to code stuff. And you should be able to create pretty complex app with Cursor AI and Bolt.new and all other leading tools. Now, this brings us to the important question. Should you actually need to learn to code, or you can simply learn to prompt and have AI generate the entire stuff for you? Well, you kind of need to learn to code if you are a bit serious, and if you're planning to develop a product like a SaaS product or something, monetize it and make money out of it. If that's your end plan, then you can't really get that far without learning to code. Okay, you should be able to at least know how things work under the hood, and you should know the basics at least. Even if you are to use AI tools, I mean, if you only know how things work under the hood, you can efficiently use it and take it to the next level. Let's say you're working on a huge project, let's say a SaaS project that you want to monetize and sell based on subscriptions. Okay, let's say you're planning to charge $10 or $25 a month, and it has all that complex stuff like authentication, databases, backend API routes, and all sorts of stuff like that. Now, when you ask AI to code something, it might not be the optimal or the best approach. Okay, as you might already know, to do the same stuff, there will be like multiple approaches that you can take, and some of them might be weak in terms of security, some of them might be fast, some of them might be, the performance might be very low, and whatever AI tells you to do, that's what you're going to do, because you don't know how things work under the hood or what is the best approach. You have totally no clue. And now this is one of the biggest problem for people who actually try to code something without knowing the basics. Okay, now a lot of production ready applications that you might develop with AI might not be fully foolproof, and also it will have a lot of security vulnerabilities, especially if you're dealing with user logins and stuff like that. So that's also one important concerns that people might have. Okay, and if you're working on a complex project, and at time to time you will run into a lot of problem and you'll be relying completely on AI to fix this thing, right? But if you know the basics, and if you know how to sort of read errors, and if you know how to sort of fix it, and if you know the basic understanding, fixing and sort of fixing the problem becomes a whole lot easier. And I've been in a state where I ran into a problem and then I copied the entire error code and every details, and I gave it to AI tool, and it keeps repeating and hallucinating a lot. And so what I could have fixed in, let's say, 5 minutes, even after like going back and forth conversation, let's say 10 or 20 times, AI tool was not able to fix it. So AI is far from perfection right now, and if you are trying to build something, let's say a profitable SaaS business or something of that kind, and even if you plan to use AI, my take on it would be that if you need to learn the basics, and if you are good at programming and if you know how to code, it will be better. Okay, and that doesn't mean you have to learn to code and shouldn't use AI tool or anything as such, but the bottom line is that you should be able to understand how things work under the hood, and you should know the basics of programming at least, and you should be able to, I mean, you should be familiar with the syntax and stuff, and also the structure and all that kind of stuff. Okay, now if you know the basics and everything is all done, once you have the foundation, you can go ahead and start using these AI tools to your advantage, and I'm pretty sure it will save a lot of time for you. For example, let's say you're developing a SaaS application and there will be like a lot of repetitive and boring works. Okay, now if you were to do it manually, it will take, let's say, 30 minutes or 1 hour. Now if AI could do it in 1 minute, why not use AI? Just go ahead and use AI to develop that particular part and assemble it or add it to your working project. And I feel that's more like the way you actually want to develop a product. Okay, now if you blindly go ahead and ask AI to code everything and you don't even know what is the structure of the code or project that you're developing, that might not be the optimal idea. So my take is that you should learn to code even if these AI tools are here. I mean, at least for now, you need to know the basics, and you should know how things work to be able to code better product. And now if you are just coding stuff for hobby purposes and you just want to see how far AI can take things, and you don't really plan to sort of take this whole thing seriously and want to develop any complex product or anything, it's totally okay. You don't need to learn to code or anything. You can go ahead and experiment with AI and see how far it can take it. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on this thing. So I've been reading a lot of comments saying that the jobs of front-end developers, back-end developers are already taken away by AI. Now AI will code everything. People are gonna lose their jobs and stuff like that. But that's not entirely true. So yeah, that's my take on the thing. If you are really serious and if you want to build a product and you want to make sure it's secure, it's the best, it is the fast, and it has the best performance and everything else, then I think even if you use AI, you still need to learn to code. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to tell you in this video. So hope you guys found this video useful. If yes, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.